What's up guys, Mark back here with yet another video. And today we're going to be talking about Canon for some reason. So as you know, I've criticized just about every single camera company out there, but I think that this one deserves special attention. Now, I was able to piss off the vast majority of the Nikon fanboys when I was talking about how Nikon has refused to innovate or really create anything that is like hyper advanced, you know, it's just like bleeding edge, you know, put something really amazing into their cameras. Well, I'm going to do the same thing with Canon today. But not to leave out the Sony fanboys either, I have also criticized Sony, especially on their APS-C side of things, as far as their lens lineup. So today we're going to be talking about the Canon 6D Mark II. Just announced, just released, it's a 26 megapixel full frame Digic 7 camera. It's going to have an ISO range of 100 to 40,000, and that's a nice bump up from 25,600. It's got 6.5 frames per second, up from 4.5. It's got 45 autofocus points, all cross type. It's also got dual pixel phase detect. Unfortunately, it's only going to be full HD. There is no 4K in this camera. And it also has sort of a gimmicky trick with HDR video. It might actually be really good. I don't know because I haven't played with it yet, but it's there if you're interested. It also has a fully articulating touchscreen, which is really good because I consistently and fervently ask for that every single time a new camera comes out. It's also going to be dust and water resistant, not necessarily proof. And it's got a release date of July 2017 with a price tag of $2,000 body only. So on paper, it sounds like a really decent spec bump overall. I don't know exactly how much of a spec bump people are actually going to be able to notice, but at least it's a bump. But if you want to check out all the goodies about the brand new Canon 6D, I'll leave links to their promo and hype material down in the description down below. But aside from all that, now it's time for me to get into my criticisms of why these companies are doing so badly in the marketplace right now. First of all, let's talk about the autofocus array, okay? Again, for whatever reason, Canon and Nikon both have a really big problem with this, is they cluster all of their autofocus points directly in the middle of the frame, as if no one uses any of the area outside of that center clustered. As creative people, photographers certainly are creative people, sometimes we want to focus on something that's, you know, up in the top right-hand corner, the top left-hand corner. Maybe we just want to do something wild and crazy. Maybe we don't want to follow the rule of thirds. So having our autofocus points spread out a bit, that grid really needs to be from edge to edge. Stop limiting your consumers. Even though this is a full-frame camera, you are not getting dual card slots. Even the Nikon D600. Probably one of the biggest epic fails in Nikon's history because of the dust and the oil on the sensor issue. At least it had dual card slots. And again, I repeat, that was 6 years ago. Another thing that they have thoughtfully left off of this brand new camera is 4K video recording. Everything has 4K now. Every cell phone, every cheap piece of hunk of Chinese garbage has 4K video, but they just absolutely positively will not put it into any camera except their cinema line. Again, Canon is going to begin to lose market share left and right, period. I mean, we can argue all day long about, well, these are stills cameras and they're not really meant for video. Then don't put any video in it. But if you are, meet your customers' demands, for the love of God. Like, 4K is not that hard. Please quit, you know, you're insulting your users' intelligence at this point. Just saying, you need to step it up. 4K needs to be in everything. Now, as far as data throughput, we've got a USB 2.0 connection on this camera. You know, that thing is like 12 years old. You know, when exactly did you think it was a good idea to use literally 12-year-old tech? No one wants to go that slow. Again, with this being a full-frame intro into the professional line of Canon cameras, you're only going to get 1/180th of a second sync speed. It is a joke. It is a literal joke, not even 200th of a second on a full-frame camera. Who's running the ship over there? At least 200. At the very least. All you video shooters, you're still not going to get much of slow motion. You're going to get maximum 60 frames per second, and unfortunately, even in that 60 frames per second, it's only going to be in full HD. So again, no 4K, and if you're wanting to do any sort of really nice slow motion type shots, you'll get some slow motion because you'll be able to do half the speed, get it down to about 30 or 24, and it'll be fairly smooth, but you're not going to get anything that's as impressive as 120 frames per second. There are even now cameras that are much less expensive than this Canon 6D Mark II, and they do up to 240 frames per second. So there's too many options. And overall, like I said, while this is a bump up from the Mark I, this is basically matching the Nikon D750's specs from, what is it, 4 years ago? This is all specs and tech that's now 3 years old. And they want to charge you $2,000 for it when you've got cameras like the Fuji X-T3, the Panasonic GH5, and the Nikon, D610. All of these cameras have bigger, better, more impressive specs for less money. This is just not all that impressive. Canon used to really do some wow stuff back in the day. Now they are just completely and totally lagging behind. This is old spec. Will skilled professionals and people that know what the hell they're doing, are they going to be able to create some amazing images and some decent video content with this thing? Absolutely, positively. Anyone with enough knowledge can create amazing things. My takeaway is that this has now essentially solidified the fact that when Sony does finally release its A7R Mark III, it's going to basically be the leader in the intro full frame market. They're going to steal it from just about everyone. I can almost guarantee you that in the full frame market, they will beat out both Nikon, Canon. Fuji doesn't make a full frame, so no real issue there. Panasonic is micro four thirds, so no real issue there. But as far as full frame goes, Sony's going to own it. The A7 Mark III is going to come out at any moment. So you guys had really ought to listen to your user base. You should listen to people that are not even using your cameras. You would be a much more attractive option if you had these features, if you actually stopped trying to drizzle out old tech and present it as something awesome and amazing and something worth paying $2,000 for. So there you guys have it. There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, great. Give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. It's all the same to me. At any rate, thanks so much for stopping here at the Photo Video Show. I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I will see you guys again on the next one. Peace.